Where the president is most powerful, where they have the most unchecked power constitutionally and throughout the courts through court precedent, is in the realm of foreign policy. And we knew that the Biden administration's foreign policy would not just be bad, but dangerous. We knew that this administration was going to be a disaster. Okay, they have proven that to be the case. Now, they've been pretty ineffective. But at the ACLJ, we took direct action by beefing up our team at the highest level. So we brought on former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
It seems like the Chinese Communist Party has been emboldened since Joe Biden's been president. They have consistently rebuffed efforts on the COVID-19 investigation. And it seems like the policies that you had in place as Secretary of State have pretty much been, I wouldn't say nullified, they're just not following up on it. What makes no sense to me is that we had, as I say you, but we as a country had such great success. What? Is it just anything that's the previous administration they don't want to touch?
Maybe that. I've certainly seen that in other places as well. But with respect to the Chinese Communist Party in particular, I think they just view it differently than we did. They view it the same way that the foreign policy establishment had viewed it for 40 years before the Trump administration as well, right? It is, if we just sell them some more trinkets, we've got to figure out how to get along. They're a big country. We can't upset the Chinese Communist Party. Our view was they have destroyed millions of jobs in the United States of America. They've stolen billions of dollars in wealth. They've now foisted this virus that killed hundreds of thousands of Americans upon us and covered it up. They're committing genocide in the western part of China. They want to take over an independent nation of Taiwan. They destroyed freedom in Hong Kong. This collective set of activities makes the Chinese Communist Party, if you add it to their military capability, the singular greatest threat to our freedom here at home.
It's interesting that we're dealing with China in significant ways and have been. And then we have the situation with Iran and then the greater Middle East issue. I have said that Iran is the greatest exporter of terrorism in the world because they will support Hezbollah and they will support Hamas. When we look at Iran, we had this horrific Joint Comprehensive Plan, JCPOA, that was not even an agreement to supposedly slow down Iran's nuclear ambition. At the same time, I will never forget this. We had a pastor that was in jail. His name was Saeed Abedini. Mm-hmm. They finally got released. The first thing he told me when he got released, when he came to the United States, was, why in the world did the United States pay $1.8 billion to the Iranians? This literally, I'm on a conference call, to this regime. Because, of course, he's looking at it as just this is more money for terrorism, more money for repression of freedom. So you look at the nuclear deal that the Biden administration seems to be bent on getting back into. Then there's these reports that the nuclear activities have been increasing. And on top of that, while the United States withdrew from the agreement, the rest of the European Union stayed in it. And the Iranians acknowledged they have not been following it.
Americans are sitting at the table begging them to come back into this poorly constructed deal. It's an article of faith. There is no logic to it unless you believe the core proposition that Iran as a balancing actor, and I've heard some Democrats say this, we need Iran to be more powerful so they'll balance out the bad actors in Saudi Arabia and in the Emirates and in Israel. I think this is crazy. It's not in America's best interest, and yet I think there are some on the left who hold this view. It's by the way, the last thing to say, it borders on anti-Semitic.
No, I think it does.
Because of the support for the most anti-Semitic regime in the Middle East, the Iranian regime, endangers Israel, makes it more likely that they have to actually attack the Iranian nuclear program, and puts at risk the Jewish homeland.
The idea that religious freedom is central to human rights, that if you can't have a country where there's real human rights without religious freedom and religious liberty.
The core belief of mine, it was a core piece of understanding of the State Department under President Trump. It was work that we were doing to acknowledge that America is better off, right? We always talked about America first. America is better off when nations around the world permit their people to practice their faith in the way that they want to. The nations are more stable, their people are happier.
You recently said if America is not strong, the world will be at the mercy of tyrants and enter an era we dare not imagine.
Look, that statement was both historical and predictive. Historical, in that we know when America is weak, what happens. We know that we watch the Anschluss, we watch Sudetenland, right? We know what happens when we allow tyrants to roam free. And so if America is not leading, that in fact they'll have a lot of room to take away freedom here at home in the United States.